And let's dive into our next story. We've got some shutdown shenanigans going on, and we want to talk about this because this is getting really ugly for the Democrats. Here we go.
You know, as you observe this government shutdown, like if you were in the Senate right now, what would you be telling the other Republicans to be doing? What would be the Royce White game plan for this moment in this shutdown if you were in the Senate today?
I'd say hold the line. Let the thing shut down.
You would say don't allow the Democrats any concessions on the Obamacare subsidies. Make no
Not a single inch. Let Russ go to work. Let the president go to work. Let the thing. But you see, I'm radical, Matt. You know that. I mean, I'm radical. When it comes to policy, I'm radical. And, you know, that's why in a place like Minnesota where you have a lot of what they call plumb line Republicans or Nikki Haley, you know, milquetoast moderates, you know, it's a miracle that it's not a miracle. It's a sign that the MAGA movement has taken the Republican Party nationwide, that I was able to win a Republican Party primary in a moderate Republican place like Minnesota. Even the Republicans who used to be plumb line are sick of the shit. They're saying, you plumb line Republicans have had Minnesota for 30 years, and look what happened. It's the epicenter of Marxism. You know, and Ilhan Omar's, you know, running around like she's queen of the world. It's ridiculous. We're tired of it. So
you're so right. The Benedict Arnolds of your state, or whoever the people were who said to Bill Clinton, "Yep, you know what? Bring them here." You got a bunch of desperate people from the deserts of Somalia. We think they'll do great in Minnesota. We think they'll get here and do great. Like whoever.
I love some Royce White. Royce White is a character. He is definitely not most people's cup of tea. I love the fact that he is running for Senate in Minnesota. I hope he gets it. He tried last time. I really hope he gets it. They need a Royce White type person in the Senate. They absolutely do. But as he said, on this government shutdown, the Republicans need to not give an inch. Draw the line and say either vote for the CR as it is, no concessions, not one thin red cent of additional spending. The Democrats either completely capitulate and reopen the government or go away. And in the go away phase, what President Trump needs to do, what his administration needs to do is cut the federal government to the bone. Cut it back by trillions of dollars. And we're going to get into that story because it looks like there is $2 trillion worth of cutbacks that could be made during this government shutdown. We could cut federal expenditures from 6 down to 4 trillion. And if the government is bringing in 5 trillion, we could start paying off our national debt at a clip that if we go from Trump to a Republican president for the next 2 terms, we could almost completely pay off our national debt, which would be absolutely amazing and would put this country in a financial position unparalleled in the world. So let's check this out, because Mike Johnson was echoing some similar sentiments. He was lambasting the Democrats and Schumer on this whole shutdown nonsense. He was on Fox and he got pretty heated about this whole shutdown situation. All right, so here let's dive in with Mike Johnson.
Infuriating to us. Everything that Hakeem Jeffries said there is the opposite of the truth. It was 3 weeks ago today, Brian, that the House voted to pay the troops, pay federal workers, and keep the government open. We passed a clean CR. 3 weeks ago, the ball is in the Senate's court. That's where the duty must be done now. But Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are playing politics with the lives of real American people. He's getting accolades right now from the far left. That was the whole objective. They had to appease the Marxist base of the Democrat Party, and so they picked this fight right now. It is absurd. As you know, the measure that we sent over there 3 weeks ago is a clean CR. It is 24 pages in length, the bare minimum necessary to keep the lights on so Congress can continue to do its work. They shut it down. It's on them. For counting yesterday, the Democrats have now voted 8 times in both chambers to stop the payment of checks to troops, federal workers. We have 2 million civilian employees that will not be getting paid now, and 1.3 active duty military service members. It is infuriating to us.
Go ahead, Ainsley.
Thank you, Lawrence. So how do you react when you hear Chuck Schumer saying every day gets better for us? What about the people who aren't getting paid? What about the women who are here while their husbands are deployed? What about people who are trying to go on vacation or go away for the holiday weekend and their flights are delayed or canceled? How is that better for everybody?
Real harm to real people, and we're hearing it from our constituents. The House Republicans right now are in their districts working, trying to help people through this crisis.
It's not better for anybody but the leftists, Marxist, Democrats. And I'm not even sure it's better for them. They're getting pummeled in the opinion polls. Everybody has equated this shutdown. They call it the Schumer shutdown. They realize that this is Democrats. This is the Democrat shutdown. The Republicans brought forth a clean CR that continues spending levels with no changes, and the Democrats have decided to shut this down over money for illegal aliens. 1.5 trillion in additional spending, billions and billions of dollars for healthcare for illegal aliens, billions of dollars for the ACA that nobody likes, because the ACA, Obamacare, did nothing but wreck healthcare. Everybody's premiums went up. It's a disaster. Everybody knows it's a disaster. The Republicans should have fixed it 8 years ago when Trump first got into office in his first term, but we had a bunch of milquetoast rhinos that didn't go through with it, specifically McCain, who was one of the deciding votes against that in the Senate. So now we're stuck with it. Well, this shutdown is going to get very, very ugly for the Democrats. I hope it does. I've got two clips right now of where I believe the administration is going. Donald Trump needs to pull the trigger on this. Do not wait anymore. The Democrats have stretched out this shutdown 10 days. Execute on the two plans that we're going to see in the following clips right now. Do not delay. Do it today. It should have been done yesterday. First, I want to check in with Lee Zeldin. Let's check in with Lee Zeldin. Lee Zeldin was on Fox talking about his plans for shutdown cuts, and I thought it was amazing.
If there was a total lapse of funding at EPA, no carryover funding, the lapse plan has a furlough of up to 89% of the agency. EPA is a bit different than most other agencies in that we have so much carryover funding. So when we wake up on October 1st, we're not just instantly, completely shut down. As you just pointed out, there has been carryover funding that's allowed us to continue to fulfill our statutory obligations and to also pursue this deregulatory agenda, to get our work done and to fulfill the president's priorities and his demands of our agency. But now as this Democratic shutdown continues, Democrats continue to refuse to vote to reopen this government. These furloughs are going to kick in even at an agency like the EPA where you have the carryover funding.
They don't need to be furloughs. They need to be RIFs, reduction in force. Do not furlough these people. Actually cut their jobs. Lay everybody off. You're gone. And then when funding is restored, if you want to hire back any of those positions, make sure they are MAGA Republicans. We need to seed the government with non-leftist bureaucrats so that we can create an inertia against leftist change should there ever be a Democrat president in the next 16 years. Hopefully there isn't. Hopefully we roll right from Trump to a Republican for the next 8 years, and let's keep going. Let's keep making America great and run into a Republican after that. But 90%, they can get rid of 90% of their staff. That's what needs to happen in every single agency. 90%, 89%. There are millions of government bureaucrats and functionaries that need to be gone. Now, I want to dive into this from, not the most conservative, Joni Ernst, Senator Joni Ernst, quasi-rhino, but check this out, because she's talking about even bigger cuts, and she's talking about why. Because you've got the federal government rife with waste and corruption. Here we go.
I sent a letter to Russ Vought outlining about $2 trillion of savings, a number of different measures there.
I want to stop it right there. I'm going to replay that. I want you to get that. $2 trillion in savings. That's what I was saying in my monologue segment. 2 trillion, right? Last year, the government expenditures were about 6 trillion in our government revenue, which is a bad word, but basically the tax intake, the theft from American citizens and businesses was about 5 trillion. So we're $1 trillion upside down. You cut the federal government by 2 trillion when you've already got from the big beautiful bill upwards of $400-500 billion a year in savings. Now you're talking $2.5 trillion. You go from 6 to 3.5 to 4. You're paying off you could start paying off $1.5 trillion of national debt every year. We would have the national debt paid off in about 10 years. A little more, I guess. Yeah. About, yeah, because I guess the national debt right now is, in the 20 trillion range. So we'd have to get to about 15 years. But we could absolutely do that with Donald Trump and the next Republican president. 100%. So let's replay that. $2 trillion in savings. Now listen to what she says about some of these federal workers.
I sent a letter to Russ Vought outlining about $2 trillion of savings, a number of different measures there. But one is really going after those federal government employees that are deemed as non-essential. We've identified a number of those. And there are also the bad actors. We found one woman who was literally clocking in at 3 different federal jobs full time. There were several days we found that she actually was claiming 26 hours of work per day. And this was because we had telework opportunities for those federal government employees. I mean, this is out.
Think about that. You got government workers that have 3 different jobs that clock in for 26 hours a day. This is absolute nonsense. How do you have systems? This goes back to the Doge, to Elon Musk, and saying we've got to revamp all of the federal computer systems so that you can't have this. So they've got checks and balances. So they've got automated fraud detection. How do you let someone with a single social security number clock into 3 federal jobs? It's crazy.
Outrageous. So what we need to do is identify those bad actors and get rid of them. They should not be here. We have IRS agents out there that actually owe back taxes to the federal government, and yet they're hired to go after Joe Citizen on the street. So there are a number of ways that we can trim back on the number of workers that we have. We need to be a more efficient government. That's why I'm chairing the Senate Doge Caucus. It's not just about cutting and eliminating, but also making more efficient, better working for our American taxpayer. We can do that. This is a great opportunity. President Trump will steer us through this and find ways with Russ Vought that we can prove to have a more effective and efficient government.
100%. Fire millions of government bureaucrats right now. Do not wait, Donald Trump. Do not wait, Russ Vought. Do not wait, Lee Zeldin and every other cabinet head, secretary in the Trump administration. Do it now. Riff all of the people, get them out of government, and cut, as Joni Ernst said, $2 trillion off the federal budget. Do it now. Gut this whole thing. You cut $2 trillion out of the federal budget, you are gutting the deep state. You are absolutely taking a sledgehammer, a chainsaw, and a flamethrower to deep state money laundering apparatuses. You are taking it to deep state entrenched bureaucrats who never go anywhere and constantly thwart conservative presidents when they are elected. Do it now. We have the opportunity to absolutely cut the heart out of a lot of this stuff, and it needs to be done right now. Let me know what you think in the comments. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. Appreciate all your comments.